All right, we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, hello, good evening, and a warm welcome to all at MESC Red Devils NCR. Big day today, and to talk about the big day, I have two big people with me. I have Ojas Bhai with me on the stream, and making his debut for the first time on our YouTube channel is Anukul Bhai. Anukul Bhai, warm welcome to you on the stream. Hope
Thank
you're doing well. So, Anukul Bhai, I'll start with you. It's a big game. The stakes are very high for the game, and based on the week that we have had, both from the perspective of a result as well as the run of form, and with the mounting injury list that we have had, it kind of seems like this game more or less is the tipping point of our season. Do you agree? If yes, then what are your expectations heading into the game? And if you do not agree that this is very well the tipping point of our season, what exactly is your reasoning for that? So go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much, Delvin. First of all, for inviting me. I'll say that today's game, I think, is the most crucial game of the season. Matlab, as you said, that nothing can be more important because what has been our record in the past with the same opponent, and the next game which we have will be facing Brighton in the semi-finals. So this game, as I said, that has come at exactly the wrong point for us. And secondly, with the injuries which we have, so I feel that yes, the criticality of this game, matlab, it goes, it is unsaid. Matlab, everybody knows about what it is. And secondly, what I feel that will be a very close game because of the crowd, and also the stadium atmosphere, because the ground is very tight ground. There are not much spaces between the field and the stands. So, and we all know that La Liga crowd, Spanish crowd, is very passionate. So it would be actually a very difficult game, and let's hope for the best.
I mean, you're right in saying about the seemingly close enclosures that Spanish teams have as per their stadiums. So it's a very different cup of tea compared to say an English crowd. I mean, it's not a lot of difference considering atmosphere wise, but you're right about the fact that Spanish clubs are pumped up for every and any big occasion which concerns their club. I mean, you could see in the Real Betis game only, in spite of the fact that they were already down and out of the competition, the
Right.
atmosphere was alive and kicking. And they are also another club from Sevilla. So this is the second time that we will be going to Seville in within the space of 2 to 3 weeks, and so that adds to the significance of a contest, especially at a time where the score is so precariously poised at 2-all, and Sevilla enter this game with as good a chance as they have. Or just by coming to you, so in the previous game in the La Liga, Sevilla have more or less confirmed their safety from La Liga by beating Valencia 2-0. So they are those 3 points basically more or less seal their position as safe in the Liga. So that is one big burden off their chest. So, do you feel that based on that result, do you think that they're going to come at us hard and they're going to make sure that they're going to make every minute miserable for us? Because their most important concern for this season, that is avoid relegation, has been ticked off. They're currently in 11th place, and I think they're 6 or 7 points above the relegation zone. And more or less, I think their safety is rubber stamped at this point. So, what do you make of Sevilla's approach in this game?
Yep. Irrespective of what was happening in the league, I consider Sevilla a very strong team facing in Europe. They pretty much like to win the game by any means possible. They have good players in their side, but not of the capability of competing in top leagues like Champions League, or just competing in their own league. But they have enough what should I say, armory. They have enough tools to just win this tie if they play well. And I guess it is what um, Anukul Bhai meant was the timing of the game was bad, because it is somewhat a very tough situation for us also, but it has been eased out with Newcastle and Tottenham dropping points. We were also competing for a top four. And FA Cup game is also on Sunday. Unlike Sevilla, they don't have that important game on Sunday like us. So both the games have to be kept in mind, and we have to try, because we cannot let this game go into 120 minutes. I hope we win it in 90 minutes. But if somehow this game gets extended, or and God forbid if we don't convert it into a win and 120 minutes in Spain, Sunday it will also become tough for us because of the, what should I say, the tiredness of the players, the exhaustion of travel, and always Thursday nights are tougher than Tuesday and Wednesday nights.
Yeah, especially because we have a semi-final this Sunday, and it is not a normal Premier League game. The game that we have is equally important in its significance. So that is why extra time at this point is not advised, especially because of our incredible squad depth, which is basically next to zero. So speaking about the lineups are here, and it's not surprising that Ten Hag has gone with the same lineup that we played against Nottingham Forest. So the lineup is the exact same lineup. I'll just go ahead and give you the lineups. It's De Gea in goal. It's Lindelof and Maguire at the centre back pairing. So guys, Rosary, Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharat, whatever religious artifacts you have with you, we might as well, clutch it close to our chest and make sure that we are we because we need every second is just I'm I'm so pensive at this point. So it's Ericsson, Sabitzer, and Casemiro. So no Bruno. That's the only change because of the suspension. So Casemiro, Bruno, and Casemiro, Ericsson, Sabitzer. It's Dalo and Wan-Bissaka who are going to be our fullback pairings, and it's Anthony, Sancho, and Martial. Now, a lot of people on the streams. So Kshitij Bhai on the stream says positive nervousness. So he's nervous, but in a positive way. He does hope that we end up defeating them. Also because of the fact that Juventus have got their 15-point deduction reinstated. So which means the 15-point deduction that they had earlier has now been reinstated. So they are at this point in time they are third in the Serie A table. Ojas Bhai and Anukul Bhai, if you did not know about this, the appeal that was put forward for irregularities or whatever allegations that were there has been suspended.
I read
Has
it on
been
Twitter.
suspended. Yeah. So basically, initially, because of the points deduction, Juventus were seventh on the points table, but now they find themselves on third, which gives them more incentive. Not only because that they're in the Champions League races, but they have a pretty favorable opponent as well. So
Yeah, it's everything is all right if we perform at a level that we can compete with any team right now. See, I
exactly,
agree, Juventus is a strong team, Sevilla is a strong team, but it's not like they are not beatable. I know there was a
yeah,
time
yeah,
in Juventus also, in past also, where the backline used to look, when they had, I don't know, Benatia, Bonucci, Kelleny, just two good players to have in one team for me. This Juventus team have performed well. They have appointed Allegri at the right time also. So it's nothing to worry about if you take a game at a time. And in Europe, anything is possible. We saw it in the last leg. Anything can happen at any time. So it's pretty much not sure what will happen. You can be defeated at Old Trafford and you can win in Turin, or whichever place you go. So it's a pretty
also
balanced
yeah.
game.
Also, you cannot take any team seriously which has Paul Pogba in it. So yeah, I mean,
Will he play this season? Is he going
uh,
to play this
he
season?
play whether
No,
he plays or whether he doesn't play
no.
doesn't even really matter.
But I
Well,
think he's
uh,
sitting
well,
outside only
I
because of the
think
I
injury.
don't
yeah,
think so Pogba will participate in this season anymore.
I
He
think
is
so. Yeah,
he is
Yeah, he's not
having
Juju
playing.
a
Juju
lot of injuries.
Juju Jogba for you guys. Juju
And,
Jogba
Well,
for you.
and also
what I
on the
wanted to, sorry, you
sorry,
go
no,
Yeah,
no,
ahead.
no.
Nakul bhai.
I was just mentioning about the Pogba thing. Oh, more than the field, he's fighting some personal issues also with his brother and all those things. So
Doesn't
That
might be
doesn't
that is
uh,
doesn't
that is
doesn't
so
matter. Doesn't matter.
Pogba
What
needs
Ab-
only 10-15 minutes to ruin opposition. So he is that kind of player. Just
true?
needs 10-15 minutes to
Ruin his
either
team or the
no. What I wanted was saying is that I think Suso start in the last leg?
Suso came on as a sub. The
Right.
comment is absolutely hilarious, guys. This is hilarious. All right, let's shift our focus towards the lineup, guys.
yeah,
So Anukul bhai, my question to you is: so Diogo Dalot last week in the previous game week against Nottingham Forest started as a left back. Now a lot of people did not keep close tabs on him when he was on loan at AC Milan, but for the vast majority of that season where he was on loan, Diogo Dalot was mostly played as a left back,
left
and
back.
that was exactly what he said in the post match conference also, where he said that this is not something that I've done for the first time. This was my preferred position when I played for Milan in the Serie
Milan.
A.
Yeah.
Now, in the game against Nottingham Forest, now let's agree that Nottingham Forest are not exactly the most intimidating of opponents, but overall, his performance as left back was a very good one, bar that one edgy moment where he gave the ball away to
Yeah.
Avani and he shot wide. Overall, great performance, and that goal only added gloss to the fact that he's one of those players who's slowly and steadily becoming the player that Ten Hag wants to be, with because he definitely has the acumen to play an inverted fullback, where in spite of the fact that it not being his position, but against a team like Sevilla, in an atmosphere like this, in a game that holds so much meaning not only for that particular moment, but also which could go ahead and very well define how our season moves forward from here. How important it is for Dalo to not have a single hairy moment. Because it was Nottingham Forest, that hairy moment did not get punished in the game week on Sunday, but against a team which is vastly superior to what we were playing against Nottingham, how important it is to basically have a virtually flawless performance, especially because we are playing away from home.
Well, Levin, very, I'll say an important position in which he's playing because we have Shaw also there, and Malaysia is also back from the injury. But Ten Hag has gone with him. If you see Delord's performance in this season, he has grown leaps and bounds. At one stage, he was about to surpass Van Bissaka also on the right back thing. And almost he was the first choice for most of the season. But if we see his what we can call the Josh in the last game, he was more than pumped up. He's and eventually he scored also. That confidence which he had, one or two moments in every match, even the greatest players they slip. But the what I like about Delo is he's high on confidence as of now. The manager is backing him up, the team is backing him up, and now it becomes more important for him as in this team. Now there's no scope of any goof ups. There's no scope of any goof ups, especially from these two, our wingers. So our fullbacks cannot give anything away. We know about Van Bissaka. At a certain point he just switches it off. He just but again we cannot have that on the other end also. So I feel Delort Rose is very he's Emirate is a very important role for the team also and for his own personal game also.
Yeah. So Anukul bhai, you're doing a lot of waves on your debut stream. You're getting compliments on your mustache. Your mustache is considered as elite. So that's some way to make an impression.
Yes, thank
This
you
is
so much.
this is not something that I and Ojas bhai have been used to, in spite of being regular members of the stream. So that's that's
Even
that's that's
even
some way. Okay, and just when I say this, there is a comment saying that I look like 50 cent. You could say 50 rupees. You could I mean,
the
you could say
singer, the
50.
singer,
You could,
he must be saying the singer.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, you could say 50 rupees because we're Indian, but then okay, doesn't matter.
So
Okay,
what
I would,
Anukul Bhai said, na, there is a point on that because Delo has been so good and the manager trusts him. That is why the new contract is being discussed.
True.
Otherwise, Jallo was always on a brink whether he will stay or not stay.
Hmm.
But it's a
Exactly.
long-term contract. I think 4 years is very soon. Announcement is very soon for his new contract.
Yeah, precisely. So, which is why I'll come to you with my other question. So now, unfortunately, in the Nottingham game, Sabitzer had to be forced off because of injury during his warm-ups, and that that meant that Lindelof and Maguire did not have the best of protection. Now, yes, Casemiro is an elite screen in front of them, but for a pairing that has not played much together in the course of the season, you can understand why there was need for a little bit of an extra layer of protection, to so to say. With Cas- with Casemiro and Savi playing together, I think it's not going to make much of a difference because I genuinely feel now with Bruno's absence, I believe Sabitzer is going to be the most advanced midfielder. That is for sure. And in Ericsson, we do have an equal, if not a better quality chance creator than Bruno. So more or less, that Bruno absence can be, can be offset. But in this game, how important it is for Maguire to make sure that he has a pretty solid start, because we seen in the Forest game he had a yellow card within the first 5 minutes of the game, and
But he
but
played well.
to his
Yeah.
credit, he did do a pretty decent and a solid job. But you could always see that, out of the two, Lindelof was the much calmer, much assured, and the much more composed presence out of the two. While as far as Maguire is concerned, you could see that, there were some jittery moments, and there was one point where I genuinely felt bad for the guy, because they zoomed the camera on Maguire's face, and you could literally see the nervousness and the anxiety that he was going through at that particular time. And that is not something you would want to wish on any player, let alone your own player. Like, it's just a bad thing. Like, this is he does get his criticism, he does get his flack, he does get a lot of slander thrown at him, but at the end of the day, that man has conducted himself and I as ideally as a United player should, whether it is on the pitch or whether it is off the pitch. Like, you cannot blame that second own goal on him. That poor guy can just not. It's just a case of that guy just not being able to catch a break this season. Like, it is you. Like, there was a point where you do get angry, but then after that, it's just plain pity, man. You like so emotional aside, how important it is for Victor and Harry to just uh, just play without any fear, just play without any anxiety, just think of it as another game. I mean, because like I've said many times in the streams also that I believe Harry Maguire is much more suited to tournament football than a league stage, and this game is a big tournament game. Do you think that in this game we could see very well see the best performance that Maguire has put this season? I'm seeing this season, so that all of those people who are watching do not come for my head. Does Maguire put the best performance of this season for him? Do you believe that? And my other question to you was how important it is for Maguire and Lindelof to get composed and be solid right from the offset and not have the moment like he did in the Nottingham game.
Yeah, with Sabitzer and Casemiro, you are right. There's going to be an extra layer of protection in front of Maguire and Lindelof. But I don't think so. Maguire has had a bad game for past couple of weeks. A bad game, I meant, because in the last tie also the real mistake that first happened, it was Malaysia sleeping off. Okay, and that invited more pressure along with Martinez going off. So we were down to 10 men. And out of nowhere, we can criticize a player who can. It's like not at all in control of the player of how he conceded the goal. It no defender in the world could have avoided that. If it was meant to go in, it got in, and we should move on, and we should appreciate that Maguire, not the best defender of our generation, but at least he has, we have got a player who has got the maturity, he has got the experience, and we should be thankful that out of so many injuries we still got defenders who can perform in a European game. Because if you take Thiago Silva out of Chelsea, they are spineless. If you take Ruben Diaz out of, although Akanji and Ake are playing well, but there are some players who are so important to the back line, and we should be very thankful and appreciate that we have got two good players who represent the national team, who play so good for the national team whenever they play, and hopefully they will have a good game tonight. But what my main problem in this is, because I was looking at the lineup, Casemiro versus Fernando Rakitic and Goodledge is like locking the Casemiro in front of Maguire and Lindelof, which will get tougher on Casemiro, because then we want our fullbacks to deal with Ocampos and Suso. So a pretty strong lineup that Sevilla have placed in their home, pretty much acknowledging the fact that they are safe in the league and they are going full throttle on Europa League. And I guess it is going to be a very tough situation with Ocampos and Suso on the wing, because an
However,
inverted.
yeah, you're right with that. But however, Montiel's absence, because he's suspended for the second leg, makes that midfield look a little bit weaker. Because in the first leg, you could see Montiel was making those switches. He was a little bit involved in whatever positive intent that Sevilla was showing.
Yes,
Uh, but with
but
Montiel,
this
because
Anil Kapoor of Sevilla, that Navas.
Jesus Navas, he came on as a
He,
substitute, though. No, he
yeah,
came on as a
that,
substitute.
yeah, but he can perform in Spain. At least in Spain, he is capable of performing, and I don't think so. Montiel will be. I get the technical point of your whatever you want to say, but just the lineup looks so good on the paper right now, and that is why it's a worrying factor. But truth be told, it is going to be a very exciting.
Yeah, exactly. So one battle that I am personally looking forward to is Acuna versus Anthony. We got a very tasty glimpse of what is going to happen in Sevilla in that first leg. We have a Brazilian winger against an Argentine defender. The nationalities themselves make for a very spicy contest, but it was the intensity of that duel. You could see that these are two ferocious competitors who just want to give it their all. Like, there was this one moment where both of them got into a little shouting match against each other just to see who's the louder one out of the two. And that is the competitive intensity that you want to see. So Anukul bhai, again, like you said in your opening statement, saying that the atmosphere in Sevilla is going to be crazy. The fact
Yeah,
that they've already rubber stamped their safety in the La Liga means that a big burden is off their shoulders, which means that they do not have the league to think of now, and they can go ahead and set their sights on getting Europa League once again. So it is an absolute no brainer as to they are going to come at us for the first. They're going to unleash hell on us for the first 10 to 15 minutes for sure. They will snap into tackles. They'll be all over us. They will be pressing and counter pressing the living daylights out of us. Basically, they are not going to let us breathe. So how important it is in those situations where you are put under the cosh, you keep your heads and make sure that you do the basics right when your back is to the wall, because this was something that we weren't able to do in the first leg.
exactly.
There was a point where we were absolutely cruising, and it was a case of how much we would score after going 2-0 up. But then once when those substitutions were made across the hour mark, it seemed that we lost something, and with that, basically, we slowly began to lose our control over that game. And then we all know what unfolded before us, and that is the price that you pay for a long time of inactivity in the game. In this game, how important it is to make sure that you keep our heads, we keep our cool, and we keep our composure in the toughest of situations, because this is a win or go home game. Basically, there are no retakes, there are no do overs. So, how important it is for those senior players in the side. Now, the likes
Exactly.
of how important a role does Casemiro play in this? Does De Gea play in this? And Ericsson play in this? Because apart from that, you do not see a lot of experienced heads who know a thing or two about winning competitions. Like, Casemiro is a serial winner. Ericsson is a Syria winner with Inter, and De Gea was the only player who had won something prior to the trophy drought that we had in that side. So how
Exactly.
important it is for these senior players to calm heads and make sure that everything is cool and composed from our side in the
Well,
tough situation that we'll be facing.
exactly. As you spoke about, the first 10 to 15 minutes, very crucial. And I feel, as you said, that we'll be, they'll come all guns blazing. Our midfield has to be, very very tight. The seniors player all the three, even I'll count Sylvester also in it. They all three of them, they have to step up and just absorb the pressure which is coming from the opponent forwards. Because we all know, as you were talking to Ojas by, that Maguire and Lindelof. For Lindelof, I feel that in this season he is quite on the mark. I'll say above average only. But Maguire, you never know कि what can he do, you never know. But then again, coming on to the senior players, it is very important for Casemiro because he's a veteran in this in this situation, in this league. He has played for so many years. He has uh, for if you would have been seeing him in the Real Madrid team, that would have been walk in the park for him. But in this side, he has to step up as he has always done. So the role of Casemiro, Ericsson, and even our forwards, they are, if I combine all three of them, Sancho, Martial, and Anthony, they are almost more than 200 pounds. So they also have to step up on that counter attack has to be very 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 good and precise. We cannot just go in front of their net and just shoot wide. This will be getting very few chances, and we have to bank upon them. We have to take them. So that's my take on that.
रोहन भाई says अनुकुल भाई तो आर्मी वाले लग रहे. That's because वो आर्मी वाले हैं. So great spot, Rohan bhai. Great spot on that. So Anukul bhai, it's an interesting thing you spoke about our forward line, the likes of Sancho, the likes of Martial, and the likes of Anthony. Or just by coming to that point, we've seen what Martial is capable of when he's fit and firing in that first leg. It was enough evidence to go ahead and see why Ten Hag rates him so highly. Because he was brilliant in the 60 minutes that he played. He had a role to play in the first goal, and he put in the assist for the second goal. Uh, do you believe that Martial should play the 90 minutes today? Or do you think that he should be, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he did play the entire 90 against Nottingham, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, uh,
I
I
guess he
guess
did. I guess he did. I'm
I
not really sure. It seemed
yeah.
like he did. I'm not. I think he did play the
I think
entire 90.
Sancho was replaced for Weghorst. I think.
Yeah. So I think Martial played the entire
Yes, he
90.
played the
Guys,
Sancho
90
was
yeah,
minutes. He
replaced.
played the
yeah,
90
he played.
minutes. He
All
shifted to
right.
left. He
Yeah.
shifted to left.
So do you believe that Martial is healthy enough or durable enough to complete 90 minutes in this game? Because let's be honest, we do need him this game. Whether it is we cannot let him go off after on the 60-minute mark unless we have a 4 or a 5 nil lead, which is very difficult to imagine. But I think that is the only time where we let Martial off at the 60th or 65th minute, because that is the only time where the game will be safe. So how important is Martial starting the way he did in the first leg for us? And again, do you believe that he plays the 90, or do you believe that Tenag is going to bring him off at some point?
But I want Marshall to play 90 minutes because I know this tie is going deep. I have this feeling that this tie will go deep, and you don't want to sub off a player. I know I'm thinking a little bit negative, but if it goes to extra time, you don't want to sub your player when he will be needed most, because it is not always that 30 minutes gets converted to penalties. There are teams like I think it was in the final against Atletico that Real Madrid scored 4 goals in those 30 minutes against Atletico Madrid. So this is very important that we have to understand that you know and Marshall stays on till the end. Is Rashford on the bench? I'm not. I didn't.
I think Rashford is on the bench.
He's
Yes,
on the bench. He's
he's
on the
on the
bench,
bench.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I
So
feel after 70 he will come.
so a very good boost for us, but you certainly cannot take Marshall out. You can bring in players who take the pressure of him, that just closing down the defenders and all. You can bring those kind of players, because I don't think Sancho really complements Marshall that well. I have full respect for Sancho, but he's just not that kind of player that you need along with the striker of Marshall capability. You always need those wingers around your, I call Marshall type of strikers the smart strikers. You always need those kind of wingers who create a continuous pressure on the back line of the opposition. So when there is a continuous pressure on the opposition's back line, you have got these smart strikers working in and out along with the midfield to create a lot of chances. So this kind of role Sancho doesn't play. Sancho is playing because we have to cover for Rashford, as I'm pretty sure Rashford is starting on Sunday. So it is a very peculiar spot to be in. But I guess Marshall has to play whatever it costs, whether you ask David De Gea to press uh, forward, but you have to keep Marshall and you have to keep pressure off him. You have to say, just survive the 90 minutes because we need you. Marshall plays 90 minutes. United plays along with the quality, with Marshall, we go through. If somehow something happens that Marshall gets injured, or just, I hope he doesn't, but if
yeah.
he's
It is
injured and
not. Yeah, I mean, it is not out of. It is not impossible for Martial to get
it's not
injured.
impossible, but we
Exactly.
cannot risk. We cannot ask Marshall to exert. Not in this game. Not in this tie. We need him. We need him for the season, and just hope that he plays 90 minutes at his own comfort zone.
Yeah. So Anukul bhai, this is the Sevilla lineup which will be playing forward. So it's Jesus Navas, it's Marcus Acuna, Lucas Ocampos, Suzo, Lamela. They have one striker up top, and that's Enesiri. Do you see Sevilla just pumping crosses into the box every single time they get even an inch of space available? And if yes, at how much more significance does Lindelof and Maguire's composure take at that point in time? Because with so many great crosses of the ball, and with Nesiri being the size that he is, it is the only course of action they're going to have. They're going to hoof the ball. They're going to play route one, and it is not a secret. It is going to be the exact way that yes, exactly like Rohan says. They're going to spam crosses into the box. It's going to be cross and inshallah in its absolute glory. So how important it is for our defense to hold strong, and how important it is apart from Lindelof and Maguire, especially for Van Bissaka, who we all know tends to fall asleep, who sometimes also forgets where his back post or his near post
Yeah.
is. So how important it is for our entire defense to hold shape, and like how much of significance is going to be
Yeah.
against a side who are going to play the crossing game for sure.
As you have already laid down all the facts, only one player, what I feel will play a very significant role in this, to counter this tactics, is Casemiro. If he falls back, he holds that center position and just backs Maguire and Lindelof. For Lindelof, I don't know, but I am very confident about him. He will perform. In last game also, he was, he gave everything. But for Maguire, he is a little slow in the air also, and also when the ball comes on the wrong side.
A
So
little slow. You're being very kind. You're being very kind.
so ओजस भाई ने बहुत he said very good things about Maguire, so I thought I should just
Why?
display.
But why not?
So I should not exactly give it that counter, but definitely Casemiro will
Yes.
play again. He
Yes.
will play a very important role for the attacking part. We have Sabitzer also, and as I said, the forward line. It is their duty to counter attack, but for holding the defense, this game is more important to us on the defense part. If we hold a score line of 2-1, that 2 can be taken care of, but that 1 should not increase. So if that is the most important, defense will play the major role according to me. That I feel. So
Exactly.
definitely it is a, that area, you have to counter those aerial attacks, and every all four of them, matlab, it is very important for them.
Do you see Casemiro becoming that auxiliary centre back at a time where Sevilla is going to be like? Do you see a scenario where Casemiro goes and becomes the third centre back
It
in
will
the
be.
game?
It will be 6 versus 5. Six of their
Oh,
forwards, yeah, and
fair.
five of
All right.
our defense. It will be
Fair enough. Fair
including,
enough.
yeah, yeah.
All right. All right. Ojispa, I think you have a different opinion compared to Anukul Bhai. You can go ahead and share yours. What do you think about the
No,
fact
no,
that?
but no. I was just thinking that even if we are on a very good position that we are leading, but I always believe that Casemiro is a trump card in a way that when he starts just just bringing his game to the opposition half, and I know Casemiro is very good defensively, but if the performance is well, you can always see Fred coming on for Sabitzer and Fred handling that third centre back duty along with Maguire and Lindelof because of the pace that Fred has. Otherwise, what I saw minimum of Casemiro in the last leg when Martinez had to go off, he has a tendency he has in him. He is not the same midfielder that used to play for his early days in Madrid. He just has this tendency that he has to go forward. He has that confidence. He believes. He thinks like a captain. He thinks like a leader. That I am the person who will score the goals. I am the person who will defend the goals for my team. So it's that type of mentality is very hard for a player. McTominay can do that, but very hard for a player like Casemiro who has such a mentality that I have to be involved wherever the ball is. If ball is there only, I have to be there. If ball is in our half, I have to be there.
This
So
was the same. I'm sorry to interrupt, but this is the
no, no
same
problem.
phenomenon which Wayne Rooney had. If you in his later days, before he moved out of United, he wanted to be everywhere on the field. So that is a very good point brought by Ojas bhai.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Ojis bhai, continuous question of you. What is going to be the most important part in our game, and why is it going to be the fact that we will have to take our chances when we get them? Because we have been seeing time and time again that we have no problem creating chances. We have been creating high quality chances every single game, but for some reason or the other we somehow just forget how to score. uh, and in a game with such fine margins, in a game with no second chances, I know this is a statement, or this is a question that has been repeatedly dragged, repeatedly asked, but unfortunately, it is what it is. It is still a question that has not been answered by either us or by the team in themselves. So I'll ask the question again in another stream: how important it is for us to take our chances.
Yeah, if all of you guys have watched the Bayern game yesterday, I
Exactly.
think I
That is why.
the game was I was just discussing with someone who was very new to football, and they told me that with 3-0 lead in Etihad, Bayern are just out of the sky. They don't have a chance. But I had to explain to them that what Bayern Munich is, what Allianz Arena is, and somehow what words I spoke I failed, because they didn't convert the chances which I thought they will. And at whatever level of the game you are, if you don't take your chances, there are teams ready to pile on you and just outscore you in any way. And this was the point I repeated in the last stream also, that if you look at the Liverpool game, we were not bad in the first half. We were shit in the second half. We were not bad in first half. Just we
But we
didn't
missed
convert the
chances.
chances, and they scored the chances, and pressure just comes on to you.
And
So
speaking about the Bayern game also, it was worth noting that City actually scored their goal after a missed Bayern chance.
yes.
They countered from quite literally on the edge of their byline, and they scored, and they just went on the other they just went on the other end and just casually scored it. So that is how crucial a missed chance is.
Four
And
sitters were missed last game.
five. I counted
Yeah,
five. I counted
yeah.
five.
I think five it would be, but what four was? I'm sure about the four.
And
You must have, yes,
and then
because that's
Sane. Sane was guilty of missing chances in the first half also. In the first leg
Sane,
also, sorry. First
Sane
leg
got
also,
confused. Sane got confused which team is.
which team is playing
Uh,
for.
uh, but
So,
yes, pretty awful performance by Bayern Munich, and we cannot repeat that. Fortunately, we are not at home. But if this is just a point of view from my side, it is good sometimes to start a game on 0-0, because when you bring the lead from a previous leg, there are chances against Spanish sides that you become complacent. Not this season. I'm just talking across the history of Manchester United. If sometimes it's good for the mentality point, if we take the positive way, that the game starts with nil-nil and we have to just win it somehow.
I have a question for the both of you, and this is a question which will border on the negative. So, if at all any of the viewers who take offense to this, my apologies, but it is a question that has to be asked. On the off chance that we do end up losing this quarterfinal, okay? On the off chance. Now, I hope, God forbid, this does not happen, but there is every possibility that it does. And I think whoever does not want to accept this fact lives in a whole different world of denial. My question to both of you is, if at all we do end up losing this game and get knocked out of the Europa League, would you actually be like, all right, considering we do not have the depth to compete further in this competition? Or would it actually hurt because the season was actually leading to something? Anukul Bhai, I would love to know your thoughts on the matter. What would be your reaction on the off chance that we end up losing this game?
Well, Delvin bhai, I'll just say that it's just too bad. It's just too bad for us. But if we lose, and we cannot have any complaints, because it has been actually been a very tough season for us. We are playing,
Exactly.
every week in and out, 3 games, 2 games, and then our players are not getting rest. Our main players are rested and suspended and injured. So even I'll rested. I said the wrong word. There was nobody who was rested, because Ten Hag, he likes to play his strongest team, matlab,
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
with even the the weakest opponent. So, and coming on to this stage, you are in the quarters. Next, you have the semis, and you have already won one cup. So I feel that our head should be up. Firstly, secondly, you just cannot fight those factors. They are just out of our hand. The injuries are out of our hand. The suspensions are out of our hand. We can just talk about it, but we cannot do anything about it. So I feel that even if we lose today, but that loss should be, we have to put a fight. मतलब our squad is not like that कि we should on paper we are heavy, so first of all we should go for the win. Definitely we should go for the win, but even if we lose, it's we have to move on and consider, consider on the semis.
So you'll be disappointed, but then it is not. It's not going to be like, okay, this is
End of the
derailed our
world.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, okay, all right. Ojis bhai, your thoughts on the off chance that we do get eliminated? What would you feel? Would you actually feel disappointed, or would you be like, yeah, not the end of the world. We still have a trophy to look forward to. What are your thoughts? What? Be honest. I mean, see, for me, I would actually be hurt because if we compare both the trophies, I'd rather have the Europa than the FA Cup. But then, uh, considering 1 week ago where we had our full strength defense, and now we come to this week, we're basically playing with Lindelof and Maguire, and that's a massive drop off in terms of quality. With all due respect to Victor and Harry, so I wouldn't be that, like, I would be disappointed that we lost the Europa, but then, yeah, what are your thoughts on this impending situation? I mean, it's not a certainty by any stretch of the imagination. We could very well trounce them in the first 30 minutes and then play keep ball for the rest hour. So that's another situation that can be plausible. But then, on the off chance that the worst case does happen, what would be your feelings or what would be your reaction to it?
Yeah, actually, I will be really disappointed, because for me, the from the start of this competition, I believe that we have such a strong squad that we have to, in comparison to European football that we are playing in the Europa League, that we have to win it. There was a season with Jose Mourinho when we won the Europa. I don't remember. A quote was there. If you play in a competition you don't belong to, you go out by winning that competition. And this is the quote that has struck to me, that if there is a place that you don't belong to, you have to just win that place and get out of it and go to the place where you belong. Because for certain, we are playing Champions League football next season, and the decorating part of that Champions League season can be winning the Europa League this season. And I personally believe that winning the Europa League stamps our authority on European football, because this season of Europa League was just top class, just
Yep,
amazing team
precisely, absolutely, absolutely.
to compete against. We defeated Barca, we have defeated Betis, and most probably we are going to beat Sevilla. We could face potentially Juventus, or Roma is also there. They are
Yeah, but
on the
Roma will be on the other side of the leg.
okay,
Oh no,
but
wait,
it
we might no 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 no. We might actually face Roma, I guess. Or is
yeah,
it
I think.
is it the winner of Juve or Sporting? I'm not sure.
But irrespective of who we face, it just has been so delicately poised. It just has been such a wonderful season of Europa League, that this is the season that is going to be remembered for a long time. In the Europa perspective, Barca getting knocked out by Manchester United, they couldn't believe that. We competing against Real Betis and winning, and hopefully if we win, because so many teams. I think Ajax was also in Europa League this time.
They were in the
Juventus,
playoffs. They were in the playoffs. They lost in the playoffs. Yeah.
yeah. So it's just I believe that winning the Europa should be just a very good platform to start a season, that we will be competing for Champions League and the league title next season.
Uh, I know I'm going off topic, but before I go there, Amit Bhai is a very simple man. Amit Bhai has just one line, and that's just one demand: semis में जाओ यार बस. Simple, no goal margin, nothing. Just semis में जाओ. And off topic, I'll say is because Delhi Capitals are 111 for six. The
I
six
told you.
down.
I told
Yeah,
you.
so that's the only thing off topic. Yeah, so I think we've covered everything there is to cover with the game. We spoke about our side, we spoke about the opponents, we spoke about how important the approach to the game should be. And one last question before I take predictions. When do you think Rashford comes on? Do you think it will be anywhere between the 60th to the 70th minute? Or do you think Rashford does not come on if the result is sealed? What are your thoughts on this? Anukul bhai, you can go on. Yeah, you can go ahead and start.
Yeah, I feel if till 70 minutes we are Rashford, he will not come on. But if we are trailing or the match is draw, definitely after 70 minutes he'll come on. And most
Ojas
I
bhai, yeah, okay.
no, no,
Please,
it's
please
okay.
continue.
हो गया.
Uh, Ojas bhai, what about you? If at all
Uh,
the result is sealed, do you think Tena gets Rashford on, or is it like chill kar le bhai? Like
No,
just
no. Irrespective of what will happen in the game, Rashford is going to play the minutes, because he needs the minutes
in his legs.
to
All right.
get
Okay.
to get into the flow against Brighton on Sunday. Whatever happens in this game, Rashford has to play. If we are in a good position, Rashford will come on for Sancho and Weghorst will come on for Marshall. But I, for a reason, have these goosebumps that I used to have for cricket matches when I'm young. I am having these goosebumps that this game is going down to the wire.
You are
It
still
is going to
young.
be
You are still young. You're still
yes, I'm
young.
still young, but I just have this feeling that it is going to be such a great game, and I don't believe that. I just hope that Sevilla don't play that type of football that Atletico plays, just sitting back or
No,
whatever
they're not.
they.
No, absolutely not. Then I've seen Sevilla play quite a few games in the La Liga. The one thing that they don't do is they don't haram ball. They just don't. It is not in their ethos. They do
True.
not play that way.
True.
You like it's not. It's not. They will do anything, but playing haram ball is just not Sevilla. They will
Even
they will go route one. And for this game, they're definitely going to pump in those crosses. We're going to have that game where we had against Fulham under Moyes, where we put in 81 crosses in the box. I think it's going to be not going to be a similar number, but it's going to be around 40 to 50 crosses that we will be dealing with at ease. And I'm just lowballing at this point, but it is what it is. You could see us having an absolute cross fest, and
even the personality of the players that are playing this game are
exactly.
That's
Yeah, they
too
just
too
cross,
good.
just cross.
No,
Exactly, just cross.
even they are so good on the
They,
playing level. They have the quality
Yeah,
quotient
pedigree.
in the
There
squad.
is pedigree in that Sevilla side. For all those people who think that Sevilla is an also ran, they're very mistaken. Like they're not performing the level that they should be performing, but there is pedigree and there is each of that,
Suso
each of that
lives
side,
cross.
each
Suso
of that
lives cross.
side. I think majority of that side is a Europa winner. Majority of that
Yes.
side is a Europa winner. Has a Europa League's winners medal with them. So with that being said, one last question that is predictions. Anukul bhai, I'd love to know what your prediction for the game is and who will be the one who will be scoring the opening goal of the game. It could be either a Sevilla player or it could be a United player. I'm talking about the opening goal in general, but the result, whatever it is, you feel.
I feel that are one of our forwards. Matlab, I am backing Martial for it, and
Okay.
final scoreline 2-1 in United's favor.
All right. The favor is important to one
Yeah,
who we don't.
definitely.
Yeah.
Matlab,
Yeah. Otis bhai, your prediction for the game?
Yeah, I think so that Sevilla are going to score first, and it is going to be a very good, matchup between the two. But eventually, I see Rashford and Marshall scoring and getting even Anthony. I guess I'm predicting a 3-1 win, but I have this feeling that we are going to concede first.
I am 3-1. Okay, that's 5-3. All right. Yeah. I am very tempted to take this game to extra time, but I will not go that far. I think it will be a 2-1 win for us. I'll go with Anukul Bhai's prediction. I think it's going to be 2-1 to us. It's going to be a very tight game. Very, very close to call. Already it is too close to call, but as the game progresses, it's going to be much more harder to pick a favorite in that game. So I believe it's going to be a 2-1 win to United. And I don't know whether this is unpopular or people will call me deluded, but I see either one of Lindelof or Maguire getting on the score sheet. I just do. For some reason, I just do. Uh,
I wanted
Inshallah,
this to happen for past couple of
inshallah.
weeks. Maguire scoring a goal. Maguire scoring a goal. I was wishing that
Beautiful.
it
It
happens.
would. It
yeah,
would. He'll
but
feel that easy.
I mean Lindelof still fine, but Maguire scoring the winner. Imagine the poetic justice
I,
behind
I
that. Like,
I
I
have
swear.
this thought that if we reach the final of the FA Cup somehow, if we beat Brighton, I just
and
have
we
it that
beat
if
Man City
Maguire,
with a Maguire header.
yeah, or at Wembley, if Maguire scores a header, it is going down the history books. It is going down the
Man,
history book.
man's going to go naked. He's not going to put his
He's
shirt
going.
off. He's going to go
Like
naked if he scores.
like
I'm
clubs will be
actually loving
waiting
it.
for Maguire to play just because he will be so popular for next 12 months if Maguire scores a goal at Wembley.
So he'll get a
I
long-term contract. Matlab,
No, no, no.
he'll be
We
fine.
don't. No, not that far. We taking it too far, Amikul bhai. We are going to fiction at this point. Let's
And
keep it real. Let's keep it real.
I just wanted to add one more thing. I just wanted to add one more thing. I don't know. It can be very unpopular. But whenever Man United and Delhi have played on the same day, the if one has won, the second has also won. Most of the times, you can see the records. And this is
Who's
since
winning? Who's winning?
abhi to mostly Delhi.
Delhi,
That's why I'm saying
Delhi is keeping us, just
just on the
attached
edge.
to the television.
I mean,
Yeah.
there are a lot of interesting factors that are coming into play. So the last time United won the Europa League, Stokes, Rahane, and Dhoni played together in the same team. This
Oh,
year they're playing in the same team. The
oh,
Yes.
last year, the last time
nice.
United won the Europa League, we had one of our key strikers injured in Zlatan. We had our centre backs injured in Rojo and Bai. We had our left back injured in Luke Shaw, and the situation is pretty similar this season also. So
Beautiful.
there are a lot of parallels that you can go if we want to for that sense of romanticism. And yeah, I mean we also won the League Cup, which happened last time where Stokes, Rahane, and Dhoni played together. I'm getting back to the cricket reference because that is what it is.
E- even if you think of what Maguire and Lindelof are going through, they understand that they are not the first choice players. So there is a push, on them. There is a pressure on them that this is the platform that we want to perform on. and get noticed by the manager so that we can continue to play for a prestigious club like Manchester United.
Very nice
Otherwise,
point.
United, yeah, United is, I'm telling you guys, whoever's watching this, we are scouting centre backs in Europe. We are under the process of scouting centre backs in Europe. Most probably, a centre back signing will happen in August end.
Can we also scout ways to get rid of the Glazers? I'm just asking for a friend. I'm just asking for a friend.
People are in UK. People are searching for it.
So I mean, I think we've covered everything that is to be covered, and that basically brings us to the end of the stream. We're less than half an hour away from kickoff. So Anukul bhai, Ojas bhai, thank you so much for joining in. It is great talking to you guys. The stream was pretty enjoyable, and had a lot of fun talking to you guys about the game. And obviously, excitement is high. Excitement is palpable among us three. Not among us three as well, but for people in the chat also. There's been a lot of interaction. It was a very great stream as far as the chat was concerned. There was a lot of banter going on in the chat. There's a lot of to and fro going on. It is easy going. It is fun. So great big thank you to all the people who joined us in the chat. For all of them who are new to the channel, do not forget to smash that like button and do not forget to click the subscribe button as well. And if you do like the content in our channel, go ahead and do press the bell icon so that you're notified for any and every video that we put out on our channel. Apart from that, we aim to reach 2,500 subscribers, preferably by the end of this month. So your help and your support would be very much appreciated. And we keep on putting out content like this. And so do go ahead and join us on this wonderful journey with us. Apart from that, we are perpetually active on our social media spaces on Instagram and on Twitter. Go ahead and give us a follow there as well. I say this on every stream. I'll say this today as well. Every day is match day on our official WhatsApp group. Emotions are running high. Today is match day, and the WhatsApp group is buzzing like it always does. More so today because it's United who's playing, and it's an ever-growing family. Like I say, there's always room for more. So go ahead, do join us there. The link is in the description below. With that being said, this is an end for today's episode of MESC Red Devils NCR. Thank you for so much for tuning in. Do join us next time. We'll see you shortly on the other side. Up until then, do stay safe, do stay healthy. And for now, up until next time, this is Delvin along with Anukul and Ojas Bhai. Wishing you good night, GGMU, and all the best for tonight's game.
Thank you. Thank you so much.